A lot of people still think that being frugal means being cheap. But if you're someone that actually cares about saving money, you'll understand that it's worth investing more money into certain items in order to save money in the long run. That's why today we're reviewing the very popular subreddit Buy It for Life. We're going through 9 household items that are worth putting money into in order to get quality so you don't end up losing money in the long run. Item 1, a great vacuum. The last thing you want is a vacuum that sucks. Well, actually, that's probably the first thing you want. You want your vacuum to suck, but in the way it's supposed to. And I'm gonna be honest here, one of the worst things ever is rolling over the same pieces of dirt with your vacuum and it's just not picking it up. And the reason why is because you probably cut corners on the cost of your vacuum and it probably lost its suction power within the first year. So let's look at this Reddit post that shows the 25 most recommended vacuums over the last year. I'm zooming into it now and they put number 1 as Sebo, the Airbelt E3 Premium. I've never heard of that brand. If you've used it before, let us know in the comments. But they also put the Dyson V15 Detect as number 3, which price looks a lot more reasonable than the other top 4. $649. If you're looking to invest more money into a quality vacuum cleaner from a quality brand, probably go with this one. But again, if you have used Dyson in the past, let us know in the comments. Has that worked for you? I really want this Frugal Rich channel to be a community for us to share our ideas and to share our most quality purchases. And by the way, I'll be honest with you guys, spending $600 on a vacuum seems a little wild to me personally, but if I'm gonna give a pro tip out there, these household items that we can buy for life, they're not really urgent purchases, so we can definitely wait until a sale like Black Friday or Cyber Monday before we upgrade our items to something that can last. Item number 2, high quality shoes. I think you should really reflect on this one if you work outside or you're just on your feet a lot, or you just have an overall physical profession. In fact, this particular item spawned the whole idea for this video, and it all comes back to what's called the boots theory. The boots theory is an idea shared by this man named Terry. He has this whole series of books, but with this particular principle, he discusses a person who spent $50 on a quality pair of boots compared to a person who bought a cheap pair of boots in order to be financially responsible. Of course, $50 for boots is now cheap today, but back then that was probably a lot. And ultimately how the principle goes is that the person who spent more on the boots up front ended up using those boots for years and years, but the person who didn't spend a lot of money up front ended up having to replace his boots, and in the end they've spent triple the amount of dollars compared to the guy who invested more up front. For me, if we're going to talk about high quality shoes and specifically boots, I'd probably think about Doc Martens, Timberlands, Bean Boots, and Bluntstone. In fact, there was this funny Yahoo Finance article that speculated that Doc Martens are actually losing money because their boots are just too durable. If only our phone companies and our car companies did the same thing. And if we're gonna dive into Reddit, a lot of people are praising Red Wing when it comes to a pair of boots. I personally have never heard of them, but if you guys have worn Red Wing boots, let us know in the comments, and are they really worth the hype? Item 3, quality cookware. If we're looking at the subreddit Buy It for Life, cookware is the most talked about item on the list. For me, finding quality when it comes to pans and pots and knives that are sharper than a samurai sword, it's a little tough to distinguish what is actually good. Because there have been plenty of times where I've walked into a mall and I've entered this boutique store that looked like it was designed by Martha Stewart herself, and the pots and pans there would be from $600 to $1,000 for a small set. From Rojo 37X, they said that they got the Tremontina SS set. It seemed like the best option based on our needs, budget, and the reviews and recommendations, and so far we are very happy with it. And the first comment on this thread reveals something pretty eye-opening to me. It has 179 upvotes, and they say that anything with a coating isn't going to be a Buy It for Life purchase. And this person again points out that they're happy with their Tremontina stainless pan that has held up to my significant other's abuse. I love how this person had to throw their spouse under the bus. But she does say it has a little bit of a learning curve. So how do you treat Tremontina stainless pans in a way that will make them last for life? Let us know what you guys do in the comments to make your cookware last as long as possible. Item 4, high quality, versatile clothes. If you've been watching this channel, you know that I used to be the guy that runs straight to the clearance section to buy these $6 t-shirts, but those shirts would end up lasting a couple wears before they ended up warped and misshapen. So nowadays, I'm repping higher quality shirts that are very minimal. For example, True Classic, I have a link in the description so you can get a discount, but those things just don't change when I throw them in the washer and through the dryer. They end up keeping their shape and they make me look buffer than I actually am. For my wife, she always had this versatile Lululemon jacket. It would go with everything and it's lasted for over 6 years so far. So if you personally have a brand of clothing that is minimal, versatile, and lasts you for years, let us know in the comments as well. This guy on Reddit pointed out that they're trying to look for high quality plain t-shirts that actually last, and they've bought J. Crew, Banana Republic, and Hanes, but it feels like their quality just isn't what it used to be. One particular brand that I've heard of are American Giant tees. Apparently they're made here in America. They're supported by Micro from Dirty Jobs himself. And to be honest, I think in a future video, I'll buy one of those shirts and compare it to like a minimal shirt from Target and see the quality comparison. And again, guys, a shameless plug for True Classic. They're not paying me to say this. I just have an affiliate link for you guys with a discount code. So once again, use it in the description. Item 5, high quality denim. Personally, I don't think I've ever bought in a high quality denim in my life. I was always the kind of guy that would never spend over $20 on jeans, and that did come with an extra cost. Over the next few months, they would end up shrinking and turning into skinny jeans. And that's probably because most of that cheap denim has some elastic material in there that makes it flexible, but also makes it shrink a ton. So I had the same question of this guy on Reddit that asked, what are the best jeans brands? And the first guy pointed out that you should focus on getting raw denim. Most people just say when it comes to denim, just find the pairs that fit, and they recommend brands like Pure Blue Japan's, as well as Ironheart, The Flathead, Momotaro, Oni Denim, and surprisingly, Lucky Brand jeans. Okay, Lucky Brand is probably not raw denim, but for the other pairs, I've heard raw denim starts off more stiff and dark, and the more you wear them, the looser the fibers get and the lighter it gets, so they end up looking even better with time. I guess that's another video that I need to make. And something that might also be helpful is to get the women watching this video to comment what kind of jeans have lasted them for a long time. I know that would probably be a great way people can save more money in the long run too. Item 6, a durable bag or backpack. Let's be honest, a good bag isn't just something you carry, it's something that carries you. It carries you through your work, your travel, your education, your gym, and all that. Personally, one of the best ways I found to see if a bag is meant to last is by looking at the zipper. If I see a little thin piece of rubber as the handle for the zipper of a backpack, I know that thing's only gonna last a few months. One particular brand that the Reddit thread points out are Osprey backpacks. When I went hiking out in Banff just last month, a ton of people were wearing them, and that was probably for a reason. One backpack brand that I would probably try out is the Go Ruck backpacks. I think they're most likely American made, and those things are made to be carried through wild terrains and extreme exposure. Item 7, charging cables. We have all experienced it where we have a charging cable plugged in behind a dresser or a nightstand, and because the nightstand is pushing up against it and bending the wire, it ends up breaking the charger's charge or just the wire's connection. Typically, this will happen with those cheap chargers you get in the checkout line at Ross, and eventually you end up finding a charging cable that's made with a thick coating of like steel wool. From this particular Buy It for Life thread, people love to recommend Anchor as the best Buy It for Life charger. I literally use Anchor for my phone, not only for the wire, but also the wall plug-in because it charges really fast and it's pretty durable. Item 8, Fisher Space Pen. I remember back in the day when I was a missionary, we would wear these white shirts and ties, and we'd always hold a pen with us because we never knew when we had to take down someone's number, write a quick note. And what became really popular were these Fisher Space Pens. People on Reddit call these things practically indestructible because literally they are meant to write in space by astronauts. This man has said he had a Fisher pen in his car for nearly 20 years and nothing else will reliably write in the dead of Minnesota winter. So not only is it durable in extreme heat, but also in extreme cold. This person said they carried a space pen on the ambulance for years as a paramedic, and it's the only pen that they could sanitize and not kill. And finally, the craziest one, they said they found a Fisher bullet at his library in middle school and it lasted them through university, and they still have it at their desk today. Now that is a Buy It for Life purchase for sure. A Fisher bullet space pen from Office Depot is $30.99. Probably the most I would ever spend on a pen, but according to the Redditors, this thing will last you forever. Item 9, coffee maker. If you are a coffee drinker, you probably know the importance of this one already. Me personally am not a coffee drinker, so I don't really care. But what I'm learning from Reddit, and this might upset some of the Keurig moms out there, but the buy it for life option is just a good old fashioned French press. And specifically, these Reddit users like Bodum. They say it's a great and inexpensive option, but if you're gonna buy one, just go with stainless steel. And that's basically what buy it for life is all about, choosing something that is simple but high quality and gets the job done consistently. If there's something I missed on this list, please leave a comment down below and maybe we'll make a part 2. And if you're someone that wants to save more money on groceries in the long run, please watch this next video, and if you give it a click, I will see you guys over there. Peace.